was your very first job after finishing education? My very first job, well, I was sort of still in education when I took it, but I continued doing it after I left school. I worked in a pub. I bottled up, basically. I took all the booze, bottles of booze and everything from the shed and stuck them behind the bar. And did an amount of cleaning and table laying in the restaurant and a bit of work in the kitchen, and it was crap. How do you get the confidence to become such a good public speaker? Can you give me any advice? Well, I'll tell you what. I quit college because I cannot bear to speak in public. I can't do it. I had to, part of the college course was to give presentations. Couldn't do it. I choked. Just, like, couldn't get the words out. Can't do it. Absolutely terrified. But I can talk to a camera. There's no one in this room but me and this camera, and I can't see the several hundred of you on the other side of the camera, so I'm fine. When I was a kid, I was coerced, kind of didn't really have a choice, to do the school play thing, and I mean it was just singing, which was a bad idea because I can't sing, and no, terrified, total stage fright. And anything like that, speaking in public, absolutely can't do it. Speaking on camera, practice, really. If you listen to my early videos, I'm kind of talking very quietly and haven't got a lot to say. For the longest time I didn't know whether I should even be speaking on them or not. And it was only the sort of style developed people were encouraging and saying, you know, this is good, do more. And I think it's the encouragement I get from you lot, and I get to see what gets a good response and what doesn't, and it seems to me that the best response I get is when I talk an absolute load of bollocks, and I'm good at speaking bollocks, so I can quite happily sit here and babble a complete load of meaningless twaddle half the time and know that someone's going to like it, because it will say, yeah, come on, do more of this. That's all it is. It's practice, doing it a lot, getting encouragement, but not public speaking. Newcoleco. Favourite colour? Purple. 70s, 80s or 90s? 80s, absolutely 100% 80s. What are those other decades? I've never heard of them. Regular or curly fries? Regular. Crinkled. Favourite board game? Chess. Probably. I don't really play board games, but I play chess a little bit. It was funny, Andrea and I were at a hotel a few months ago, quite a few months ago, and in the lounge area, they had a chess set set up. There was like a little coffee table, 2 chairs and a chess set, and I suppose it was, I don't know if it was meant to be used or if it was just there for show, but anyway, we sat there and we played. We're quite evenly matched, and we wound up with an audience, and people were like, oh, you play chess? Duh, yeah. And it was like they had never ever seen anyone playing chess. And I found that really quite bizarre, because it's like, what? Is it so rare now that people would play that? I don't get it. I can't understand, why was there an audience? Chess is not a big deal, it's not a hard game to learn. But it was interesting. Other language? Yeah, I'm fluent in bollocks. I talk complete and utter bollocks on a regular basis. Other than that, no. Not really. Je ne parle pas de français, and that's about as much as I can say in that language. If you had your chance to go in the golden age of video games and start your own company, what would be your company's name and your best published games? Only for arcade, for consoles? Which ones? Making your own console for computers? Which ones? Well, I guess I would start out in the arcades and then move on to computers and then consoles. Yes. Start in the arcades, move on to the Atari 8-bit systems, because at the time they were pretty good. And I mean, we're talking at the end of the 70s, the start of the 80s. And then probably move on to consoles. Well, I mean, yeah, go on to the NES and then on to the Mega Drive and work up from there. I don't know, I've never really thought about that. Games design is not something I've ever considered. What would the company be called? Benway is God Incorporated. I don't know. I really don't know. Favourite season? Summer or winter, whichever has the least rain. I like snow. Snow is really, really nice. And I like challenging weather. But I like sun as well, as long as it's not too hot. Spring and autumn, they've just got so much rain. Yeah, I don't like rain. Unless it's really, really torrential and I'm indoors, because I like watching it. I just don't want to be in it. Top favourite items in my collection. Oh, hang on. No. Eye colour. Green. Okay, now top favourite items in my collection. Jupiter Ace, Enterprise 64, Virtual Boy. I think that's about it. Matt Nintendo Nerd. Do you know how stupid I am? I just answered your question without having a SD card in my camera, so I was talking to myself basically. Anyway, what is your favourite video game system or computer system? I'm gonna answer that like as separate things because that's the way my brain works. Favourite console? PS3. I know it's not retro, but I do the modern gaming as well, and to me the PS3 is just as good as it gets. And it can play the PS2 and PS1 and such like as well. Yeah, it just kicks ass. So even though there are things about it that annoy me, it's just awesome. Favourite computer system though, because I do look at consoles and computers in a kind of different light. I do differentiate between the two. Commodore Amiga, but not just any Commodore Amiga, my Commodore Amiga, because it's a bit special. I have a video covering it somewhere on my channel, should you be remotely curious. Yeah, it's a wonderful machine. PlatinumLolita. What is the most influential console of the 90s? What is the most influential video game of all time? Oh, influential console of the 90s. That's a tricky one. I think what was out in the 90s? The PlayStation 1, I think. Yes. Okay, the Saturn was out before it, the 3DO was out before it, you know, they did 3D, the Jaguar kind of did 3D, but what the PlayStation did was create a piece of hardware that could do 3D effectively, cheaply, and easily, in terms of it was easy for the developers. They seemed to lose the plot later on with the PS2 and PS3, that they made systems that were really hard to develop for. But they were really successful with the PS1 in making something, really helping the developers, and that was very, very influential. Most influential game of all time, Elite, absolutely, without a doubt. I mean, okay, Pong kicked it all off, but how influential was Pong? Everyone copied it, everyone did Pong, and it took a real shift in ideas before anyone tried doing anything different. So in a sense, Pong, yeah, it got things going, but it also held things back because people just got blinkered and they couldn't conceive of anything different to Pong. So, but Elite, no, it changed the nature of the game completely. 3D sandbox, do whatever the hell you like. Thomas Sue, 63. Have you had any interesting dreams relating to gaming? I don't think so. Mostly my dreams are related to people I know, and I'm just kind of having conversations with them, or they're about work, which I'm currently not doing. I so often dream that I'm in work, or I'm late for work, or I've gone back to work, or I'm somewhere that I used to work and I'm doing it wrong, or I haven't been there for ages and I'm in trouble, or something like that. Which doesn't surprise me, seeing as I'm currently out of work through ill health. So yeah, I get a lot of those. But the best kind of dreams I get are like action films, and that's the nearest I get to like gaming related. I have action film dreams where I'm some kind of... Have you ever seen the film Red Dawn? They're like that. It's some kind of invasion type scenario. It might be a foreign country, it might be aliens, it might be mad killer robots. But there's me with a sniper rifle or a machine gun or something, and I'm fighting the invading hordes. And I have quite a lot of them, and they're quite exciting. Yeah.